Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Joey Daoud with us. Joey is a video producer. He's into YouTube and documentaries for brand. He's exploring the future of video creation. So that might mean AI video nowadays. He's a founder of NTM, that is, so New Territory Media. And yeah, we're also going to talk about VP Land, a cool newsletter. This podcast is brought to you by podfire.com. That's my podcasting agency. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to pods, go to podfire.com. Joey, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Charles. So yeah, my background is filmmaking, specifically documentary filmmaking. Worked on a variety of shorts and feature docs. Some have been on Netflix, Hulu, National Geographic. And yeah, and then I started an agency, kind of saw the rise in YouTube, especially YouTube as a platform, and not just the initial idea, I think, when people had of YouTube of like just vlogging or creators, but it being a platform that like any company could access as a marketing organic marketing channel. So I started an agency, New Territory Media, to primarily focus on building out YouTube channels for brands. So kind of just putting out weekly original content under a branch channel, similar to like a brand that might want to start a blog and have a long-term SEO strategy. Same idea, but with video and YouTube as a platform. And then we also do a bunch of other video production stuff, documentaries, commercials, product videos, tutorials, all that stuff. And then we've got a YouTube channel and YouTube channel, podcast, and newsletter that we launched last summer called VP Land. And so that stands for virtual production. And so that kind of covers the gamut from high end, the latest technology in like big Hollywood movies, like stuff like on The Mandalorian, the new technology that has been changing like big budget films, but then also all of the new tools and stuff that are coming out that is making better content more accessible for regular people like us, to make videos faster, better, and cheaper, basically, or less expensive, not cheaper in quality.
Out of all the documentaries you built, which one has been the most interesting to you?
Most interesting one, and the one that probably went the most viral, was one called Dolphin Lover, and it's on YouTube right now. You can search for it. And it was a documentary. It's a short documentary about a man who had a love affair with a dolphin. And so when we premiered at Slam Dance in 2015, it got picked up by a bunch of news outlets because it obviously lends itself to a lot of funny commentary. But yeah, that one's probably been the most successful. And most interesting other one was I was one of the camera operators on this Netflix doc, Mucho Mucho More, and it was just this very interesting portrait of a Walter Mercado, who was a astrologist, kind of famous on Spanish language TV, and but just kind of being able to spend some time with him, someone who I didn't really grow up with, but he was just a very interesting soulful person. And that was an interesting project.
So did the dolphin guy, did he actually had sexual relations with the dolphin?
That's what he says, yeah. And this was in the 70s,
Whoa.
which when I say that, I was like, oh, well, it's the 70s. It was a crazier time. Yeah, it was yeah, that's what he says. I mean, we obviously don't have proof of that, but yeah, he wrote a book, and then we have the whole interview with him and stuff. And it took place in Florida at a theme park called Florida Land that now is not
How do you
operational.
detach yourself from like, yeah, reacting to these things and maintaining your impartiality and making them feel comfortable so that they can share the most interesting stuff?
I'm I mean, when you're documenting, I'm trying to separate myself from like my personal views or opinions. Like, I mean, I'm not passing judgment. I'm not um making judgment on anything of what people did. I mean, I was on some cruise and we were talking about recording before recording, but in some stuff in Mexico. And so, I mean, we were talking to like some former cartel people and, people that have like committed murder and stuff. And so it's like, I'm just there to document and capture their story. I'm not trying to pass my own judgment or opinions on what they're doing. And so coming from that end helps people feel more comfortable because I'm just there to like, for them to share their story or share what is of interest to them and not judge them or make them feel bad about talking about it.
What are you obsessed about nowadays?
Lately it's definitely been AI, and I mean I think like a lot of people, it's been um yeah, AI, both on the higher sense of just like what this means in the shift of from a filmmaker, like how does this change how we might make movies in the future, to more practical sense of how can I utilize these tools to make things better and easier and save time and speed up production processes. Like I feel like there's kind of two buckets with AI, that there's the one sort of more philosophical end of just like, are robots going to create movies and art and media and write all of our articles and everything, and we're not going to do anything? And that's a bit more philosophical. We're not really there yet right now of that even happening. I mean, obviously there's Sora and stuff, which kind of blew a lot of people or made people realize this is going to be closer or happening faster than a lot of people thought. But the other end is more practical tools of, and we're seeing this even in video editing software, from Adobe Premiere to Descript, stuff that just makes things easier, like using AI to enhance voices, clean up audio, using it to sort through media, to find shots because it can analyze video, and you could, instead of having to, in the old days, like tag, like run through your footage and be like, okay, this is where this per machine learning can analyze all of the footage, and you could just type for like, I'm looking for a shot with a car, and it'll find it for you. So that's the very much more like immediate practical sense of things that will help. Descript has new tools where it has eye contact. So if I was recording right now, like a video, but I'm reading from my computer screen and my eyes are going to be looking down, you turn on eye contact. It uses machine learning to adjust your eyes. And so it looks like your eyes are talking to camera, like you were using a teleprompter. So these are like the much more immediate things that I think are coming out right now and are going to make our lives as creators a little bit easier and better. And then there's the bigger philosophical stuff, like will we even be making things in the future? Which, yeah, I don't, that's still, I mean, I hope so.
And then at NTM, have you started using these AI video tools? What do you do specifically for a client?
Yeah. So we haven't used any we haven't used any video generation just because the quality wise it's still not there yet. I mean, I think we use stock footage, and I think stock footage libraries and video for just like generic shots, that's probably gonna be the first to go and be replaced by AI, because if you just need a shot of a person in an office doing something, I think, or just a landscape shot or aerial shot, that's going to be the first thing to be replaced by AI. We have been using AI voice generation for voiceovers. So instead of having someone record the voiceover, or sometimes there just wasn't even a budget for that, and it would just be other crappier voiceover or no voiceover. AI's gotten to the point where you can have pretty realistic sounding voices. So we use like 11 Labs as one of the tools to take the script, turn it into a voiceover, and we'll use that for some of the videos. We'll also use it to sometimes we do record with people, and and maybe we needed to change the line, or they misspoke or mispronounced something. And so we've used tools like Descript's overdub, which can take the existing voice that was recorded and use that as the training data. And then you can type out a new word or a sentence and have it generate the audio that sounds like the person that it was trained on. It's not great if you like type out a whole paragraph, but if someone misspoke or we need to fix a word, it's really good at kind of cleaning up stuff like that, and replacing words like that. And then as far as the image generation stuff, we have used that just for more like inspiration, like using Midjourney to create mood boards, or to kind of just create like a style guides. It's good for stuff like that where we don't actually use it in the outputs, but we're using it in the research process. We're talking to clients and trying to convey what we're going after. It's good for stuff like that. just to get like a good mood board going. And then you asked what we do with the clients. So we kind of offer the main packages. We try to kind of like SaaSify video creation and make it into like a monthly package offering. Because the other thing with YouTube is like it works when you're consistently putting stuff out and not just getting the video and putting it out and then letting it sit there. Nothing's going to happen. So it's like monthly packages where we'll like create a batch of videos and then start dripping them out one a week and then like keep repeating that process with clients. And it could either be voiceover videos where like we just take stuff from their website, or a lot of times a good starting point is we'll take existing blog posts and we'll turn them into videos. Or more of the like kind of bigger packages is like we'll cast a person who will be on camera. That'll be the face of the channel. We record them in our studio and sort of have these guided videos about different topics that relate to whatever industry the company's in.
Then I see your routine as a CEO, you're pretty much into sports, it seems, and exploring new places. Like, how do you keep yourself energized and creative throughout your days?
Um, yeah, honestly, the biggest secret has been like getting just a workout routine. I wasn't a big workout person like 10, 15 years ago. And then yeah, I drank the CrossFit Kool-Aid and I've tried a bunch of other things and do other, I mean, I love hiking, outdoor stuff, mountaineering. But CrossFit's sort of been the kind of foundational, and like the days when I don't go, I feel like a lot more mentally cloudy and brain foggy. The days I do go, I went this morning, I feel a lot better and clearer. Yeah, so I mean, between that and just getting mountains, nature, I'm in Florida right now, so there's not a lot of mountains here. But I'm also in California a lot, so they've got much better mountains than Florida.
So how do you split your time nowadays between the company and between hobbies and documentaries? Yeah, like what does a day in the life look like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the balance because it's like sometimes there are bigger documentary projects or stuff that just takes like long term. And one of the challenges with YouTube and putting out content is like kind of like got to keep putting stuff out. So sometimes it doesn't have enough, or trying to balance like yes, working on like longer term projects, but then also being able to churn out stuff that's a bit more immediate. Like we just put a tutorial out for the script today, and that's like kind of an easier video to produce where we have other videos of that take more research and more involved, and balancing those out is still a work in progress. But yeah, overall morning, I kind of like to just wake up around 6 and do like an hour or two of work with some coffee, and then take a break, breakfast, workout, and then come back and do some more work, which usually either is at this point like reviewing edits or like writing scripts and reviewing notes with some of our editors, or filming more videos like tutorial videos or podcast videos, and then kind of work until I don't know 6 or 7, and then dinner with my wife and chill out, watch TV or something.
Seems that you're following folks like Coffeezilla nowadays. The guy has a $10 million virtual production studio. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so that was so VP Land, the other thing that you mentioned. So that's the kind of media brand that we're exploring, virtual production and sort of new video creation tech. And so virtual production as a filmmaking tool, the idea is you're either in a stage or room where your background, a lot of people are familiar with green screen. So Coffeezilla uses a green screen studio, and then in real time, he replaces his background with his sort of film noir office set. If anyone, and also just the background, Coffeezilla is a YouTuber who does a lot of like investigative journalism and debunking of scams, like a lot of crypto scams and stuff. And he does these very, his video production is very elaborate, where he does these kind of like 1940s film noir vibe, like whodunit kind of mystery storylines while he's debunking actual real life crypto schemes. So it's just so his production process, he films on a green screen and he has a virtual studio the sort of next level up is that you have an LED wall behind you. And so that LED wall is displaying your background. So if anyone watched any of the behind the scenes stuff in The Mandalorian or any of the more recent Star Wars TV shows, they film in a massive stage that is completely surrounded by an LED screen. And the LED screen is projecting the background. So when they're looking in the camera, they have their actor who's real in person. But in the background, they can already see what the fake fantasy land is supposed to be in the background. And so that's been this like next stage evolution in filmmaking tech where because if you shot the green screen, you'd have to then you shoot it in a green screen, and then you go into your computer, and then you spend hours and a lot of time replacing the green screen with your new background. This kind of flips it where, okay, you can film everything in camera. And then once you're done in camera, you pretty much have the shot. That's how it kind of works in theory. And so Coffeezilla wanted something to speed up his process. So he uses a green screen, and in real time, that is adding his virtual background. And it's sort of this tool where he has a very small studio in operation, but he's able to put these videos out quickly and make them visually interesting and dynamic by using these new virtual production tools. I did an interview with him that was more of a behind the scenes interview of like all of his creative process and production process. And so that interview went a bit viral and got a lot of traction. But the title of the video is his $10 million studio. But in the intro of the video, it's sort of a tongue in cheek because he jokingly refers to his studio as a $10 million studio. So it's not literally $10 million. It is I don't actually know what the cost is, but it's probably more on the end of tens of thousands of dollars, not 10 million.
Pretty sure he makes good money, this guy, though. Yeah, just that when I watch his stuff, I'm like, isn't it a guy that exposes scams, the biggest scam themselves because they make their money off back of exposing people? Then is it ethical? Then it's like, okay, this guy has major balls, because he's
I mean,
willing
definitely,
to,
yeah, he's gotten doxxed and yeah, people have come after him. Yeah, he's definitely um,
but he's
put
making
himself
a
on the crosshairs.
shitload of money. Yeah, I would estimate at least 5 to 10 mil a year just off
I don't,
his.
I mean, I'm trying to remember when I was digging through the videos because I don't think, I don't know if he has any sponsors. I mean, he makes money off the ad revenue from YouTube, which once you get enough views and consistent views and stuff, that turns into like real money. But I don't know what else. Um, I
Does
don't
he
know
have
how
a
else he's
back end? Like, does
monetizing.
he offer services as well, like
Not that I know of.
investigative?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think he's not like selling a course like, yeah, he's not selling any get rich quick courses, and he's not, as far as I know, I don't think he's not selling any courses of like how to debunk your own scam. Yeah, I don't know how else he's making revenue aside from ad revenue, just on his videos. I don't think he had any sponsors. Um, so no, I mean, I think I think that's intentional with sponsors because he wanted, he wants to remain objective and stuff. So if like you have a crypto company, like one crypto company sponsoring him, and then it's like, well, what are you going to not go after them? So yeah, I don't think he has any sponsors, and I don't, I don't fully know the back end of what he's making, but yeah, he's definitely built up a huge audience in just a few years. And I mean, yeah, and kind of a bit mainstream too, because I remember there was like a Rolling Stones profile on him. There was a Vanity Fair or some other. He had a couple like profiles in a couple of like mainstream magazines about his crypto debunking. Because he did a lot of stuff too with FTX when all of that was happening, and he was able to like talk to Sam Bankman-Fried and I think like trickingly sort of in like a Twitter Spaces or something, and he was able to uh sneak into one of them that Bankman-Fried was doing and ask questions, and then that kind of blew up Coffeezilla as a investigative reporter.
Yeah, he's hitting Logan Paul quite hard as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
that one too. Yeah, yeah. Which he did
now,
end up issuing like refunds and apologies and stuff to
yeah,
uh whoever bought the coin or whatever it was.
yeah, it's just different in the industry.
Yeah.
Think like people need to also assume their own shit, like, what I don't like about that is that claims that he's doing service to humanity, but humans, when they invest in stuff, they need to do their due diligence, you know? It's not like, oh, poor you, you didn't do your due diligence. I think we need such people in society. Um, I also think, man, that the guy, like, my question is like, what is fueling him? Yeah, the money must be good. But I think it's like a deep-seated anger or like a need to bring justice to this world.
Oh, yeah, he
Um,
talks about it. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was his mom what got scammed by
Oh,
something
there you
when he
go.
was younger. So yeah, I mean there is a like Batman origin story behind Coffeezilla. Um, yeah, but I mean I mean yeah, I'm kind of curious just how the Coffeezilla media operation works, and I didn't really dig into like, where the how he's making revenue aside from the ad share, but I mean yeah, but my main interest was he's making these really cool videos and he's kind of pushing the style with how he's telling these stories and making these videos. And yeah, so we were just talking about like his creative process in telling these stories. Because like what he does and explains, like a lot of people explain that too on YouTube, but maybe they're just sitting at a camera talking and some stuff shows up on screen and he's like creating these virtual fly through worlds. And when he's talking about the Internet Archive, he's like walking in like a huge virtual like internet archive with like a bunch of filing cabinets. And so he's making these like abstract concepts a bit more tactile and real through his storytelling. And so that was like the main focus and interest in the interview with him.
I'm laughing because, yeah, this guy's kind of bonkers, you know, like I respect his balls because he's literally like going after everyone's throat. And I mean, most of alphas, you know, they would respond quite adversely to that, you know, they would counter sue and all of that. I guess the more mature ones or the
Yeah, I
ones
don't know
that
if he's,
don't,
I mean, I'm sure he's had cease and desist or something. I don't fully know, but
yeah,
I'm sure
more
he's
than
like,
that, probably threat to
um,
his life. You know, I think he's gonna die if he just continues to go on this trajectory because when you mess with powerful people, um, yeah, you know, there's a lot of testosterone in the air and but
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
that
always
like he has balls, like I'm gonna
takes
tell you
courage to
that.
go out against, yeah, stuff that like either, I mean, on when with him, it's courage for like just busting these scams or like exposing like stuff that happened. And then I think of like a more recent one too with like MKBHD. And he posted the video of the car review video that he said was like the worst car he ever reviewed. And
And
then
who is that? Oh, yeah,
Marquez
Marquez Lee's.
Brownlee,
Okay, yeah,
um,
yeah,
it
that was
wasn't his main
fishy a little
channel.
bit. His last reviews, I was like, okay, apparently he reviewed like Apple One, and he has his own product. So I'm like, huh, interesting.
Oh, that one, no, I don't know about that one. But this one was on his other channel where he reviews cars, and it was this electric car. The title of the video was like, "This was the worst car I ever reviewed." And then this other clip started going around Twitter yesterday of like the car company talking to the guy that lent him the car to review, and they were, yeah, definitely not happy about the review. And so, I mean, I'm just imagining behind the scenes, like, yeah, I'm sure he's gotten cease and desist or something, but and I'm sure he has lawyers too to like help protect him from the stuff he posts. But yeah, it still takes, courage to post like your genuine opinion if you're like, I think this is the worst car I ever reviewed, and to like actually post that and know that
Quite
you're gonna get
harsh,
like
man.
backlash from the company and
Because the question is like, what
burn bridges.
behind this headline, like what is actually getting these clicks and these views, and what is actually genuine?
Yeah,
Because you're
you mean
literally
like
destroying a company when you're posting that. And also that's another part of it. Like what will be the effects? I mean, I might get a bunch of views and clicks and engagement, but oof, that's harsh for
I mean, I think his
Fisker.
mission too has been like, I want people to have like an accurate opinion before they make a buying decision. And so if someone was actually in the market of like buying an electric car and comparing, um, I mean, that's valid info of like stuff that doesn't work. And he did clarify, like, yeah, they said like a lot of these updates were going to come in the next software launch, but they did ship a car with all these weird issues. I don't remember the specific ones, but it was just
Hmm,
like weird, glitchy stuff that just seemed
hmm.
like, they shipped early.
Yeah, or maybe it's Fisker, the Henry guy's karma, because apparently he did some fishy stuff too with the Tesla team. You know, he was hired there. And yeah, he kind of stole the plans, apparently.
Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, Henry Fisker, a genius of
Okay.
an architect, a car architect. Yeah, pure genius behind a
So he
bunch
was
of,
at Tesla and he split off to start his own
yeah,
company.
and he
Okay.
stole their shit, you know. So but yeah, I mean, I skipped the video because I thought it was like too harsh, and it's like, how can you destroy such a cool car
Yeah, I
with a
mean, it
bunch?
was a big title, and I did watch the video, and I was like, I don't know. You know, I mean, the first half of it, it was just like, you know, he's talking about some stuff, and I was like, oh, it doesn't sound like the worst car I've ever seen. And then he explained the software stuff, and I was like, okay. And I mean, it's like he said it was the worst car he reviewed, and it's like, well, okay, I guess technically that's your opinion. Um, yeah, I
I
mean,
tried
but
to imagine his life also. Like, I mean, the guy is rolling on big money. Like, yeah, I'd love to interview him as well and just see because these folks have such
yeah, he's
different
built up a
lives, you know.
really impressive operation with all of his stuff, and I've seen like the studio tours and stuff on his channel, but Colin and Samir have a behind the scenes like
And
studio tour with his stuff, and it's yeah, I mean the stuff that he's built and the kind of team he's assembled, it's really really impressive. But yeah, I
Colin
mean kind of to
Samir.
your point, you know, just like with like the thumbnails and the click titles and the clickbait, you know, even for just people, you know, like where you're like, oh, are they getting the clicks or does it deliver? And I mean that's like a lesson for just kind of anyone with YouTube or things in general to keep in mind because there is an art to like trying to write the headlines and stuff to get clicks, but you know, clickbait had like a bad rap, but it's only clickbait when you write a crazy title, but then when people click on the video, the video doesn't deliver on the title. But if the you know you have a crazy title, you kind of frame your way in your content with like a clickbaity title, but the video actually delivers on what you promised, then it's not really clickbait. You're just trying. I mean, it's a competitive game in YouTube, so you're just trying to get people that the half the battle just getting people to actually watch your video. Like you could have really good content, could be good content in this interview right now, but if you know the thumbnail and the title aren't enticing enough to get people to click, then they're not gonna watch because I mean, there's a million competition competitors on vying for attention and view time on YouTube.
Interesting. I'm gonna listen a bit more to Colin and Samir. I listened to their stuff before, so
Yeah, they've
thanks
got good stuff
for
and good in-depth stuff.
yeah, thanks for the plugs and the insights today. Where can people find out more about you, Joey?
Yeah, for sure. So you could go to vp-land .com. That's where we got our newsletter and kind of send out all of our latest updates and insights and tools on video production tech. And then also we got YouTube channel that's a combo of interviews, but then also a lot of tutorials around making videos for all skills and abilities. And YouTube channel is under the same name, VP Land. It's called Joey at VP Land. And so you can just search for that and find some of our videos.